102. You got some on me here. Come on. Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:35 and Pearl Jam with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It's actually pretty damn cold out there right now. 28 for a high today and sunny, but it's 21 right now in downtown Springfield.
So Get the Let Out's coming to Springfield Symphony Hall on Saturday, January 25th. And Rock 102 has been trying to send people to the show. We'll give you all the details about that.
Yeah.
But we'll also be talking to the drummer for Get the Let Out, John Bonham himself.
No, this is John Bonham 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking to the drummer and talk all about Greta Van Fleet.
Is that where he's from? Greta Van Fleet?
Well, they're a Greta Van Fleet tribute band, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Oh,
I remember getting the let out here when I first started here. 7 to midnight I was on, and every night at 10 o'clock we'd get the let out. Now we're going to do it at 8:45 in the morning.
Fantastic. So that's coming up later on today, and other stuff too.
Lots of other stuff.
Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. Classic Rock, it's 5:52, and George Thorogood with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Cold today with a high at 29. It's 19 right now in downtown Springfield.
Hollywood Trash is brought to you by the Western Mass Masons. Call them for all your foundation and chimney needs.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
This may not be the best timing, but Jessica Simpson and her husband Eric Johnson just announced that they're separated. She's now trying to sell her Los Angeles home.
Oh, good luck.
And,
Location.
Well, I mean, it is a hot market right now. And not in a good way.
Not in a good way at all.
In fact, Jessica and the kids have already evacuated. The house was on the market before in September of 2023. It was listed at $22 million. There were no takers, so she pulled it last August. Now it's back on the market for $17.9 million.
And falling.
Well, you never. What if it's like the one house standing? You got all that property around you. There's never going to be.
That would be a very hard place to be a realtor this week.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
What about all those lawn signs out there? From the Realty lawn signs.
yeah, I'm going to guess they'll have to be reset.
Jessica bought the house in 2013 for $11.5 million from Ozzy and Sharon.
Oh, no kidding.
How about that?
I didn't realize that.
In other celebrity wildfire news, Beyonce was supposed to make some kind of big announcement yesterday, but she postponed it due to the fires. This is really good for that P. Diddy thing. Nobody's really talking about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes we have to look at the shiny thing in the room, and right now, wildfires are it.
Jay Leno has been driving his own fire truck to relief sites to feed first responders.
His own fire truck.
He's one of those guys that has all these like classic cars and fire trucks.
Yeah, but a
and stuff.
fire truck. I mean, it's kind of like an unusual car to have. I mean, we had one, but it's like, that was all marketing.
But people with money will buy the most ridiculous things they can. But here it is. Here, it came in handy. He's feeding firefighters. A GoFundMe for victims of the fires has raised more than $100 million, thanks in part to donations from celebrities like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sofia Vergara, the Jonas Brothers, Pink, and Kristen Bell, and much, much more. Paris Hilton was able to raise $800,000 for the relief effort in just 72 hours. That's hot.
She couldn't have just written a check from the Hilton Family Fund?
No. Christina Applegate and Jamie Lynn Sigler had something to say to the idiots who think it's a good thing that L.A. is on fire. I'm trying to find out what that thing is.
Good luck trying to find something good that's happened out of this.
You've got to be kidding me, is basically what they said.
I mean, honestly.
Well,
how do you find a silver lining here?
I don't know.
A horrific disaster.
The media doesn't seem to be helping any of this. They're kind of echoing these, mismanagement. Yes, I get it. How much government is mismanaged everywhere, But the fact is that there are people in need.
Who are not celebrities.
Who don't
have $1 million homes.
A wildfire relief concert is being put together for January 30th, and while no acts have been announced yet, TMZ says there's been an overwhelming response from dozens of major musicians. Speaking of concerts, I saw this ad the other day online for some It's one of these like festivals in Boston.
Yeah.
That's going on for like 3 days, and it's, and it says down payments as low as $25. And I'm like, you want me to finance a concert ticket for Dave Matthews? Because that's who the big one of the big names on the bill was. And I'm like, this is why America sucks, is because we keep buying into this bull crap that, financing a concert now.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't even listen to Dave Matthews in installments. Never mind pay for it.
I'll tell you how I can listen to Dave Matthews. When I take a 50 milligram edible and I can go sit on the lawn of the Meadows and just tune everything out, including Dave Matthews. That's how you enjoy a Dave Matthews concert.
The way I enjoy it is by listening to it in the car and not paying a dime for it.
Yeah. If you're thinking of divorcing your millionaire husband for Brad Pitt, maybe make sure he's real first. A 53-year-old woman in France just got scammed out of $850,000 by a fake Brad. The scammer first pretended to be Brad's mom and said she was exactly the woman her son needed. The victim then received messages and AI photos from fake Brad in a year and a half, like poems and even a marriage proposal. The scammer started asking for money by saying they'd send her luxury handbags if she paid for the customs bill. Eventually, fake Brad claimed he was hospitalized with kidney cancer and needed the money for treatment because his bank accounts were frozen due to his divorce from Angelina Jolie.
Really?
The woman received emails from a fake doctor that said Brad was fighting for his life, so she transferred the money to a Turkish account. She realized last summer it was a scam when she saw photos of Brad and his girlfriend, Ines de Ramon.
How did she not think for a hot second that this might have been a ripoff?
She had to be hospitalized for severe depression. Quote, I asked myself why they chose me to do such harm like this. I've never harmed anyone. These people deserve hell.
Yeah,
it's unclear if
they chose you because you're the sucker that paid.
Yeah. I don't know. Brooke Shields is really laying it bare in her new book. Brooke Shields is not allowed to get old. Thoughts on an aging as a woman. In a new excerpt, she explains just how much help she needs in the bedroom. At 59, Brooke struggles with vaginal dryness and diminishing sex drive.
Oh my God! Wasn't the surgical procedure she underwent more information that any of us really need to know?
Well, she says, quote, for me to fully enjoy sex at this point, I need my lotions and potions, the right sleepwear. Maybe calling it sleepwear is part of the problem.
Yeah, that's also a big problem.
Just put it on the Davenport when you're done. Even with all that, Brooke admits that she sometimes pretends to be asleep when she knows her husband Chris is in the mood, but she adds, quote, this has nothing to do with Chris. He's hot. Brooke says she told her doctor she's fine with her diminishing sex drive, but he, quote, lectured her on the importance of physical intimacy in a relationship. He even suggested testosterone, saying you might want to get a few more whiskers, but that's what tweezers are for.
Let me throw this at you. Let's say you're this husband Chris.
Yeah.
And your wife is writing a book about all the ways in which sex is somewhat difficult for your wife. How you feeling at that point that your wife wants to publish a book with that information in it?
I don't know.
I'd say, honey, please, can we edit that chapter out of the book?
Yeah,
just focus on what you do in the Blue Lagoon.
All right, look, yeah, let's. I know that whole thing where you slept with your cousin in that movie, but can we leave out the vaginal dryness part?
Yeah, and the procedure. I didn't even want to tell my parents about it.
We'll leave that to Kim Kardashian.
What's going on with her?
As Kim K is calling for higher pay for incarcerated inmates fighting the fires, Danny Trejo told her to keep her mouth shut because they get other perks like drastically reduced sentences.
I bet she had something to say.
Oh my God, the last time my trap was shut when Ray J had me donkey choke the Harding administration in that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95.
That means two things.
Did you ever donkey choke the Harding administration?
No, I have not done either one of them. Caitlin?
Well, I never got that down and dirty with your mother, Chris Kim, but we once had a mix of night of romantic TV, movies, and music.
Yeah, what you see?
Well, we started out listening to the all-time classic Against All Odds by Spill Collins. Followed by A Whore New World with P. Slow Bryson.
What else did you enjoy?
Well, we enjoyed a nice long movie of Schindler's Lips, Ball Street, and then finished it off with the classic daytime soap opera Lays of Our Lives. Like sands through my wrist and ankle and hand.
Right.
She's not shaped like an hourglass.
No,
anymore,
probably
that's for
not.
Sure. And that is your Hollywood treasure. We're going to do.
Listen up at Rock 10.
Brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, as you know, I love football. I also love the intoxicating allure of a regular paycheck. However, if I were given the choice between one over the other, I would probably choose the regular paycheck because, you see, without one, I could no longer afford to attend a football game of any sort. So, with that in mind, I believe that keeping my job is probably more important than anything else. And as such, I would do my damnedest to prevent one from affecting the other by limiting my obnoxious fan behavior. On Sunday, during the Philadelphia Eagles Green Bay Packer wildcard playoff game, a video was circulated of a gentleman festooned in Philadelphia Eagles paraphernalia, harshly berating a young woman who happened to be equally festooned in Green Bay Packer gear. In this video, which has since gone viral, the gentleman was seen weaving a string of staggering misogynistic profanity and lobbing them towards this young woman, who, like many other Packer fans that night, had already been suffering through quite enough. The Eagles fan, who has since been identified as Ryan Caldwell, was heard addressing the woman as, quote, a dumb C-word. Now, you should know that I am paraphrasing this notable quotable by concealing the actual C-word, since using such the word in its entirety would put my own regular paycheck in peril. And I think I've already established how I feel about my regular paycheck. Yesterday it was reported that Ryan Caldwell, a consultant for a New Jersey-based diversity-focused management firm, has been fired from his position for not properly representing company values. Folks, not for nothing, but in this viral world of TikTok and Instagram reels, your vile language and vulgar behavior is always susceptible to being recorded. Hence, you are then susceptible to deep wells of public scrutiny no matter what section you might be sitting in. My question to you is this. Was this woman so dumb that berating her with offensive insults was worth losing a six-figure job over? I would say no. And so would every other potential employer in your chosen field. So, who's the dumb C-word now? But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You know, I'm looking at the deals this month at Rocky's, the bird food, the storage totes, the hand tools. I'm looking at the printed flyer. You can pick one up at the Rocky's store or see the sales flyer online at Rockies.com. What's on sale at Rocky's? It's always at your fingertips at Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 6:14 of the Cars with Bax and Nagle at Rock 102.
Your forecast is going to be sunny today, but high of only 28. It is 21 right now in downtown Springfield. Well, change your Amazon password.
I just did it about 2 days ago.
Well, you might have to do it again. Because,
Well, that's inconvenient for me.
Ransomware is... Amazon has been hacked. That's the too lazy didn't read version of what I'm about to tell you. So just they've been hacked, and your information probably has been compromised. Ransomware is a cybersecurity threat that just won't go away, be it from groups... This is from Forbes. Be it from groups such as those behind the ongoing play attacks or kingpins such as Lockbit returning from the dead, the consequences of falling victim to an attack are laid bare in reports exposing the reach of ransomware across 2024. A new ransomware threat known as Codefinger, targeting users of Amazon Web Services, S3 buckets, has now been confirmed.
I wish I knew what any of that meant.
You know, and while I'm going to be reading here a bunch of words that most people don't understand, and I don't even understand some of them either, but the gist of it is your information has probably been compromised, and what these hackers are doing now, you know how they do the whole ransomware for like big companies?
Sure.
Like, hey, Amazon, give us $10 million and we'll unfreeze all these accounts that we held. That's not what's happening. They're targeting individuals now.
Oh, good.
So now when you try to go into your Amazon, you might get a message that freezes up your account and says, hey, unless you pay us $500 or whatever it is, then you can have your account back. And it's... What did they say? It was recovery is almost impossible without payment to these hackers?
Well, I'm looking at my Amazon account right now, and all I can tell you is there's a DeLonghi espresso machine for just $309.
Yes.
So I think I think I'm good.
The other thing is you should, if you changed your password a couple days ago, have you updated your Amazon app? Because now that's with the patches, the security patches, and all this other stuff that they've now put in there. It's kind of ironic that, we've been talking about this TikTok ban and how it's a threat to national security, and God knows what the Chinese are doing with your information. I mean, God knows what they're looking at when they look at me feeding bologna to the Smurfs on the couch at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
But,
I mean, think about all they've learned from you by doing that.
Well, but that's what whoa, big guy. Anyway, but think about that. We're going through all this stuff, and here again is another company that's not a Chinese company. It's an American-owned company that has been hacked by who knows.
Could be someone in a different country who could be hacking
and have taken your information, and
sometimes I really think that this whole internet craze, this internet fad that's I'm sure will die out at some point, sometimes has caused more problems than it has caused good. I mean, when Amazon, you see, to me, like Amazon is just what you would seem to think would be like an easy target. One of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah.
With the richest man in the world sitting there and counting his trillions of dollars. It just seems that everybody, if any hacker was out there looking to score, Amazon would be a hell of a target. But then to go after Amazon as a company is one thing, but the individual slob like you or me, who's probably debating whether or not that Prime membership is worth the expense, we're the ones getting jacked. And ultimately, that works for every big hacker. It's really the little guy that gets screwed. Like, remember a few years ago, Home Depot got hacked?
Yeah.
And it was like an enormous amount of people that got hacked. Well, it's not just Home Depot that gets all their information swiped. It's the guy that bought a couple of 2x4s and a couple of wood nails that's going to be trying to dig out from under that problem for months.
And that's the thing. It's like these companies can afford it. To them, if they get a ransomware attack, most of these companies pay these hackers. When they get their company data compromised and somebody's holding their systems ransom, even governments. Remember, it's the city of Atlanta about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Had the entire system hacked. They wound up paying these hackers to unlock these accounts in order for them to continue doing business as a city government. But it's happening more so with private companies, and you don't hear about it very often because they don't want to let everybody know that they hacked their company.
It's almost worth it for them to pay it than it is to fight it.
And do you know how I found out about this TikTok thing? Because I always go research things if I hear something on TikTok. I don't take it for factual news. You just can't,
right?
Because everything there's a mix of truths and untruths that are being spread across these social media platforms that you really can't tell. And Forbes had the story.
Yeah.
But I don't see it being broadcast on the nightly news or all these other places that supposedly
they're probably afraid to be hacked themselves.
And and that goes for if you're nitpicking of which news source to get it from, the major networks, Fox, CNN, MSNBC or whatever, all those things are not even reporting on this. That's kind of scary too, that they would just let it happen. Well, and then go, well, sorry, too bad.
Well, you know what it is.
Yeah.
And this is the aggravating part about it. The nightly news got 30 minutes to tell you everything that went on in the world. And I bet you there's a lot of situations where a big story like this gets pushed out of the news so you can find out about which celebrities lost their house in the fire.
Yeah, but we still saved that last 2 minutes for the guy whose dog got dropped off in Oklahoma and made it all the way back to Kentucky.
Well, that's a big story. That's a heartwarming story. Would you rather hear about the dog that was found or Amazon getting hacked?
No, I want to watch the news and find out what's affecting me.
No, you don't. You want to know about that dog. You want to make sure that dog got home safe. You don't care that Amazon got hacked.
I guess not.
And that's the sort of editorial decision that they make in television news. It's like, well, let's drop the most important story and talk about that dog.
So, as we just talked about in Hollywood Trash, where some lady was getting scammed thinking she was going to marry Brad Pitt and gave him $800,000. That's on the little extreme end. She's probably got some mental issues that probably led her into believing that, Brad Pitt was actually asking her for $800,000, and who wouldn't give that snack $800,000?
Oh, he's an absolute, he's a dreamboat.
And he was fighting for his life and all these horrible things that were happening to Brad Pitt.
That Angelina Jolie seems like a woman who's got a lot of crosses to bear there.
She really screwed him. The important thing is to remember, change your passwords and make sure you're using two-factor authentication. I can't say that word.
Yeah, you need to have a two-factor authentication for nearly everything now.
And change your password often, because once your information gets hacked on one site, if you're using that password for all the other sites that you use your stuff for, I know it's a big pain in the butt, but it's worth doing because nothing is foolproof. You're not going to be able to protect yourself 100%, but you will be able to make it a little bit harder for somebody to hack into your stuff.
We as a company, our parent company requires all of us here to give out generate a new password like every 90 days.
Yeah.
And it is a pain in the Balzac. I'll be the first one to admit.
Yeah.
But it is the right thing to do.
Yeah, because
every 90 days, every 60 days, maybe. The problem is our passwords have to be 37 letters long. It includes capitals, numbers, signals, the bat signal, a bunch of other stuff that needs to be put in there to make sure we're all protected.
But it's also a responsible company trying to protect their assets because they don't want to get screwed. And, there's been instances over the years where we've gotten, from the major IT guy going, hey, somebody, got hacked thinking that it was the CEO sending them an order to go buy Amazon gift cards.
No, you're right. Yeah. But the simple consumer, dudes like you and me and other people, we don't do that.
No. Yeah, we really should.
And you really have to, because it's the only way to stay ahead of this stuff.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk this morning.
It's 6:24 on Rock 102.
Ready for a new challenge in the New Year's?
It's 6:26 of Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Dan Brown will have the full forecast for you.
Hey, this week on Baxi's Musical Podcast, a really cool interview with Brian James from The Damned and also Lords of the New Church. Also played with Iggy Pop and played in a band called the Racketeers with Stuart Copeland and Clem Burke from Blondie and also Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses. Really interesting guy, really amazing guitar player, and he's my guest this week on Apple Podcast, SoundCloud, Spotify, the Rock 102 YouTube channel, rock102.com, and on the Rock 102 app. It's all brought to you by Metro Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram at Chicopee and Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
All right, you ready to laugh?
I'm ready to laugh.
All right, let's laugh.
It's Bax and Nagle's Joke of the Day.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you.
On Rock 102.
I make you laugh.
Springfield's classic rock.
So, two Irish guys, Sean and Patrick.
Yes.
Were best friends from childhood. During one particular night of revelry, the two agreed that when one passed on, the other would take and spill the contents of a bottle of fine Irish whiskey over the grave of the fondly missed and recently dead friend. And as fate would have it, Sean would be the first to pass. Pat, after hearing of his friend's illness, came to visit his dear friend one last time. He said, "Sean, can you hear me?" And faintly, Sean replied, "Hi, Patty, I can. Do you remember our pact, Sean?" "Yes, I do, Patty." "And you'll also remember that was to pour the contents of a fine old bottle of whiskey over to your grave, and we've been saving for going, 30 years now?" "Aye, Patty, that I do. It's a very old bottle now."
Yes.
"And what are you getting at, Pat?" "Well, Sean, when I pour the whiskey over your grave, would you mind if I were to filter it through me kidneys first?" He's going to pee all over the grave, but he's going to enjoy the whiskey because it's 30 years old, and that's some damn fine whiskey.
That's a good hooch.
Bax and Nagle in the morning on Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
Here's your Western man.
6:31. With Bax and Nagle on Rock 102, it's time for news brought to you by Freedom Credit Union. Freedom is yours. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Well, here's some disturbing news to start everything off. A man from Ware faces several charges, including rape, kidnapping, and sexual contact with animals. In a public news release from the Ware Police.
Ware Police?
Their police. An investigation conducted by the Ware detectives and troopers from the State Police Unit of the Hamden DA's office led to the arrest of 34-year-old Michael Stanek-Moss on Monday. Stanek-Moss is charged with sexual contact with animals, 2 counts, domestic strangulation, suffocation, indecent assault and battery on a child under 14, kidnapping, witness intimidation, assault and battery on a household member, rape, assault, and battery. He's one of those top scumbaggy type of guys from the town of Ware.
You know, there are some reports that go into great detail about this story.
Yeah.
I would strongly urge most of you to not read it because it's disturbing. And while I would love to have all kinds of laughs about the contact with the animals, all the other things involved in this story will turn your stomach.
22 News obtained the court documents. However, due to their graphic nature, very graphic nature, they will not be shared in their entirety. Stanek-Moss was arraigned on Tuesday in Eastern Hampshire District Court, and Belchertown is now being held without the right to bail pending a dangerousness hearing. The investigation began...
Which should last all of like 1.6 seconds.
Yeah. The investigation began when a woman came into the Ware police station on Friday to report concerns of hearsay about an alleged bestiality and child sexual assault. Statements were provided by several parties, one of which indicated Stanek-Moss allegedly had sexual contact with the family's dog.
2 counts. And by the way, if you go through the details, that is almost the least shocking thing in this story.
Probably one of the most disgusting things you will ever read, so I urge you not to read it. You can just take our word for it.
Yeah.
We don't need to go into the...
You will thank us later if you're one of those people that are even tempted to go into the details.
A Springfield man with 13 outstanding warrants, including multiple charges related to lottery ticket thefts, was arrested Tuesday morning after trying to escape from authorities.
They caught him silver-handed?
Yeah, well, I see.
From scratching all the scratches? Yeah.
You got scratch ticket goo on your hands.
That's how they found him.
According to the Springfield Police spokesman Ryan Walsh, at approximately 7:15 a.m., Springfield Police, in collaboration with the State Police and the Sheriff's Department, arrested 33-year-old Trey Anthony Williams on the 100 block of Sumner Terrace. Williams, identified as a suspect in several incidents over the past year, was wanted on numerous charges, including larceny, assault, and robbery. Investigators allege that he had frequently targeted convenience stores across the area, stealing lottery tickets as part of his offenses. While executing the warrant, Williams attempted to escape through a second-floor bedroom window. He went out through the bedroom window with silver sticky stuff on his hands. However,
and not one winner.
Officers were able to pull him back inside and place him under arrest without further incident. Oh, man, you couldn't even get away. Williams faces a range of charges from Springfield District Court and Palmer District Court, including larceny and theft, fraud and conspiracy, assault and robbery, and other charges like receiving a stolen motor vehicle, attempted larceny, shoplifting, wanton destruction of property. Is that from the wonton soup? Destruction of property. I've had that, and that sounds delicious.
I have destroyed more than my share of bowls of wonton soup, but I don't think this is related to any sort of Chinese cuisine.
And shoplifting by asportation. What?
That's gotta hurt.
What? Asportation? Is that transporting something through your ass?
I don't know, Steve. I'm not so familiar with the law.
What? Do you know what the word asportation means?
Not really, no.
Let's find out. A carrying away. The carrying away of someone else's property that is an element of larceny.
So
asportation.
So it doesn't specify where he was hiding things.
No, but shouldn't words go along with the method of where you carried them?
Well, it's suggestive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Asportation does sound like he was hiding things in nature's pocket.
Wasn't that from Star Trek: The Next Penetration? aspartation when they
Make it so, number 2.
asport me down to the shoplifting incident. Springfield police continue to investigate Williams' activities, and additional charges may be forthcoming.
Fourth.
He's currently being held pending arraignment in Springfield District Court, and 22 News says they will provide you with updates. But come on, really? Are you really
never hear about this
Are
again, ever
you
again.
really believing that? A deadly shooting Monday night in Cambridge has been under investigation by police, and the death of a 21-year-old man from Springfield has now been confirmed. The Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan and Cambridge Police Commissioner Christine Elo reported that around 11:30 p.m., Cambridge officers received a call about multiple gunshots on Clifton Street. When the police arrived, they found the victim, who has been identified as Angel Nieves, 21, of Springfield, outside of a home with multiple gunshot wounds. Nieves was brought to Mount Auburn Hospital and passed away due to his injuries. Cambridge police said that a preliminary investigation suggests that it was an isolated incident, and the shooting is currently being investigated by authorities. Where was that Rehoboth story? I thought I had that.
Yeah, I got it. If you want me to
Well, no.
send it to you, I mean, I could.
Well, no, I think I can just Google it. This is Google. Rehoboth. Oh, yeah, this is from 1420 WBSM. What is that?
I don't know. That sounds like I have no idea.
Rehoboth police arrested and charged a Springfield woman with allegedly stealing a check worth nearly $23,000 from the town of Rehoboth.
Hey, that's my hometown.
Is that the entire budget of the town
Practically.
of Rehoboth? According to police, Detective Arthur Bodoin initially responded to a report of a stolen check from the town of Rehoboth treasurer on October 9th. The check had been made payable to a vendor that performed a job for the town in the amount of $23,818.33. Police said the check was altered and made payable to Jordan Richardson. Bowden's investigation revealed that 23-year-old Richardson of Springfield allegedly deposited the altered check into her Bank of America account via an ATM. Richardson has been charged with larceny over $1,200, forgery of a check, uttering a false check, and conspiracy. She's slated to be arraigned in Taunton District Court on February 20th.
Have you seen the mugshot? The mugshot of this young woman, Jordan Richardson. I've never seen a woman more happy to be arrested on a check charge in my life.
Well,
she's the happiest. She is the happiest arrested suspect I've ever seen.
Do you know sometimes they don't even take their mugshots? Those are just license pictures.
Really?
Especially with the blue background behind them. I heard that from an insider in the police force.
Could be, but even if you're getting your driver's license, who's that happy to get their license at 23 years old?
Well, she's probably just got a check for $23,000. Wouldn't you be very happy too?
I don't know, man. If you get busted for that kind of thievery, yeah, that's a bad day.
When they call you in for the mugshot, do they, especially when you're at $23,000, like, come on down. The price is right. And she's jumping up and down, smiling, like she's going to win the showcase showdown now that she's got caught with the $23,000 check.
I have like 3 cousins in the Rehoboth Police Department.
Yeah.
And this would be like the crime of the century in Rehoboth. A $23,000 fake check.
Yeah, what was it? We were up in Hatfield the other day. And
yeah.
The cop came in. The cop.
The cop.
Up in Hatfield. And, I said something about, because he had a taser on him. And I'm like, how many people have you tased today? And he's like, have you ever spent any time up here?
We bought this 6 years ago and never used it once.
Yeah, it doubles as an electric fence for the cows when they escape from the farm field. So,
There used to, when we were kids, there used to be this police sergeant from the Rehoboth Police Department that would go to all the schools to do like a kind of like a scared straight type of thing for all the grammar school kids.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that was on the department for 25, 30 years and was always very proud. Like, I never had to use my gun as a police officer here in Rehoboth. And even as a kid, I thought, well, that's because there's no crime here.
I was going to say, that's not a flex. That's just fate.
That's because you took a job
Listen.
as a Rehoboth police officer.
I don't think there's any cop out there that actually wants to use their gun. It's there to protect themselves in case some knucklehead decides that he's going to try to kill them first. You know what I mean? So, I really, again, that's just fate.
It's fate.
Yeah, of course. You if you got hired in Rehoboth, you're not going to use that gun.
What are you going to use the gun on? Some guy stealing a cow? I mean, well, honestly, that's the worst crime you're going to see.
It reminds me of what was in the Naked Gun when the mayor of Los Angeles says to Frank Drebin, I'm not going to forget about that shooting a couple of years ago. Listen, when you see two people getting mugged in a park somewhere, and he goes, it was an reenactment of a Shakespeare play or something. I'll have to find the line. It was just a bunch of actors.
It was Shakespeare in the park.
Yeah, Shakespeare in the park. Speaking of cops, an officer near Virginia Beach named Jerron Harry was forced to rat on himself after he hired a hooker who stole his car. If you can't trust a hooker these days, whom can you trust?
Ain't that the truth?
It sounds like it was a personal vehicle, but not the squad car. Her name is Alexis Copeland, and she's 20 years old, but she goes by the name Dream. He met her on the app and sent her $100 through Apple Pay to come to his place to get it on. Pretty cheap for Virginia Beach. That's kind of a bougie place down there.
$100?
Yeah. According to the police report, they laid in bed for a while before agreeing to shower together. But Jerron jumped in the shower, and she never came with him.
Doggone it. And she probably took his wallet, too.
That means two things. When he got out, she was gone. What? Will I see you again?
I thought I was doing great with you.
Along with his car, wallet, phone, keys, and police credentials. He used his neighbor's phone to call it in, and cops found Dream driving around in his car with a different guy. Oh, it's almost like she's a whore.
She is.
She told them it was her baby daddy.
I see.
Yeah. She claimed Jerron offered to let her use the car, but she also used at least one of his credit cards. She's facing half a dozen charges, including grand larceny, fraud, prostitution, and other stuff. Meanwhile, Jerron isn't facing any charges yet, but he's no longer a police officer. He got fired from the department last week.
Did he at least call the Better Business Bureau?
I would have.
I would have reported her.
Yeah. Listen, or your Yelp review of the hooker. Stay away from this broad.
Do they even have Yelp reviews for prostitutes?
I think maybe they do.
Really?
I mean Yelp is the white trash soundboard anyway for most. That's where all the Karens go to complain about, local businesses.
I mean, it would be good to, read some reviews, to before you would go into a monetary exchange with the prostitute.
I had full intentions of committing to my end of the deal, and this woman came. Well, she didn't, and then
she faked it.
But faked it. Fake. And then she was supposed to join me in the shower, never showed up to the shower, and then all of a sudden she's got my car driving around with her baby daddy.
I mean, a man really does need some consumer protections.
It's a sad, sad world when you can't trust a prostitute off the street you hired for $100 through Apple Pay.
And you thought going directly through the pimp would have been the right way to go. I mean, there is a corporate structure involved here, and you'd like to think you're abiding by those rules.
She's like the real life version of ransomware. We were just talking about that,
Yes.
Hey, you want your car back? Give me another $100. I'll take it. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today, going to be mostly sunny with a high of 28. It is 21 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Aw, yeah.
Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 6:51, and the Rolling Stones of Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Cold today, sunny, but a high of only 28. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 30. It is 21 right now in downtown Springfield.
Get the Let Out a celebration of Led Zeppelin coming to the Springfield Symphony Hall on Saturday the 25th. And we want to send you to that show. If you sign up at rock102.com before the end of the day on January 19th, we'll choose one winner at random who will win a pair of tickets to the show. In fact, we're going to be talking to the drummer of Get the Let Out later on this morning, Paul Hammond. Will be joining us around 8:45. One winner chosen at random. It could be you. So get to see Get the Let Out delivering Led Zeppelin live like you've never heard before from Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
What was was it Albert Hammond?
Albert Hammond, yes.
What song was he? What did he sing? Wasn't it "Never Rains in Southern California"?
Albert Hammond was the guy that...
It never rains in Southern California.
Southern California. Yeah. Absolutely right. Still alive today, by the way.
I wonder if he plays that on the drums during the Led Zeppelin show.
I don't believe he does, and I don't believe it's the same guy or any connection.
I think it's Paul Hammond, actually, who we're going to be talking to.
Yes.
John Bonham 2, Electric Boogaloo.
So we'll be talking to him around 8:45. That'll be cool.
Happy National Pizza Week!
Oh, Jesus.
Are you a pineapple fan?
I like pineapple, but and I've had the pineapple on the pizza.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste as bad as many people think, but it would not be my go-to for a pizza.
Well, finally, there's a pizza place I can get behind, although it's probably 3,000 miles across the ocean. A place in England called Lupa Pizza just added a Hawaiian pizza to their menu, but the owners hate pineapple, so they decided to charge more for it. A lot more. Their pepperoni pizza costs £12, which is around $15.
Okay.
But their Hawaiian pizza with ham and pineapple will run you just over $120.
What?
Their delivery menu says, for £100 you can have it. They say to pair it with champagne since you're already splurging. CNN talked to them, and at that point, no one had ordered it yet. But it's drummed up quite a bit of publicity. That's actually a good marketing scheme to get people to start talking about your place. They say there's a chance that they'll keep it on the menu and lower the price, or they might just raise it even more. The local paper launched a poll asking readers, "Does pineapple belong on a pizza?" Oh, it's the UK version of Dave Coombs. What does your pizza like pineapple on it?
I had a chap that loved that kind of pizza.
I had a fellow I was once friends with. He was into pregnant pineapples. If yes wins, they'll make their Hawaiian pizza a monthly special, and last time these folks checked, they might have to say yes was winning. There's no promises on the price, though. If they do add it long term, they might drop the price or they might double it. But you know what? Good marketing scheme on the pizza place.
Yeah, here we are 3,000 miles away talking about that place.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never go, but nevertheless, we're talking about it.
Well, I would go if I lived in London or if I was visiting.
But you wouldn't order the $100 pizza.
No, of course not. But I would praise them for price gouging on something so disgusting to begin with. They're outpricing the people. They're doing a good deed.
They're doing a service to make people not want to get it ever.
Yeah. We've talked about this many times before. There's no way fruit like that belongs on a pizza. Tomato is the only fruit that belongs on a pizza.
It should be, yes. Maybe a vegetable, certainly lots of meat and cheese, and there you go. You're done. That's it.
I'll take the ham. The ham can go okay. I wouldn't even be a big fan of ham on a pizza. I'm not even like that crazy, but ham is acceptable.
Yeah,
pineapple is not.
Again, it doesn't taste as horrible as you might think, but I never in a million years would order it.
You know what? Do it the old-fashioned way. Just slug a pina colada while you're eating a slice of cheese pizza. It's the same damn thing. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Or just a couple of shots of Malibu and you're all set.
Shots. Everybody!
It's just about 6:57.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? As many of you know, this Monday, the Fighting Irish and Notre Dame will be facing the Ohio State Buckeyes for the College Football National Championship. After a full season of rigorous play combined with the 12-team playoff system, it's finally down to these two teams in a winner-take-all matchup at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering what it might cost to purchase tickets to the 2025 College Football Playoff Championship. Well, get a load of this. According to the latest figures from secondary ticket vendor Vivid Seats, the cheapest tickets to Monday night's game will cost you $1,381 per ticket. Now, those seats are the very worst in the entire place. But if you were so inclined to spend the extra cash, then 100-level seating starts at just $2,048 per ticket. And on StubHub, there are a pair of tickets that are currently available on the 45-yard line that are going for just $16,354 per ticket. Now, I don't know about you, but there is a very good chance that I will forego such a purchase, largely because I do not have that sort of cash on hand. And I'm on a loan, because you know who else doesn't have that sort of cash to spend? College students, particularly the ones that attend Ohio State, who are spending $54,000 a year to go there, and especially true of the kids at Notre Dame, who are dropping nearly $83,000 a year for their education. Now, there are student discounts, but I'm pretty sure that after draining your parents' finances to attain a 4-year degree from either school, there probably isn't enough money left for $1,300 nosebleed seats. Now, as a parent, I would strongly suggest watching it for free on television like everybody else in America, including myself, because you see, I'm still paying for my children to go to college at much cheaper schools who have notoriously lousy football programs, and boy, am I saving a bundle. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Oh, look, your house is a mess. Piles of crap everywhere. If you want to go to Rocky's for shelving or storage totes, now's the time. Oh, look, now your house is neat as a pin. Super January deals on shelving and storage totes going on right now at your neighborhood Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 7:09 and Sammy Hagar with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be mostly sunny today with a high of 29. It is 22 right now in downtown Springfield. Talk about something for a second, because I just got to do this real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Later on today, we will give you a chance to win tickets to the Auto Parts Swap and Sell at the Big E. How exciting is that? That's happening this weekend, and we will have tickets to give away later on today.
You know, I know we don't really typically do stories that are part of the central part of the state because it's not really in our locale.
And we don't care about Central Mass.
Yeah, most people don't.
No.
Yeah. Who cares about Worcester?
Yeah, that's the place you go between Boston and New York.
A manhole cover flew off in an explosion this weekend in Worcester, Massachusetts. Surveillance footage from the MB Lounge shows the blast Saturday night at the intersection of Grafton Street and Franklin Street. The Worcester Fire Department was already at the scene after a report of a smoking manhole. Firefighters observed smoke coming from 2 manholes when an explosion blew the cover off one of them.
Ever smoking manhole?
Oh, I've had a smoking manhole before.
You ever blow the cover off of it?
Yeah, a few times, actually. And did you see the video of this thing?
I don't normally have a Google watch on blown manholes, but I'm more than willing to look at it.
Flames shot up from the manhole where the explosion occurred, but the fire officials said it's self-extinguished. No injuries were reported. Fire officials from said National Grid and Eversource responded as well. The cause of the explosion is still under investigation. This must be like a wintertime thing. Here's how weird, we were talking about the guy doing the nasty thing with horses yesterday.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, this story comes out of where this knucklehead who was loving dogs a little bit too much.
Among other things.
Among other disgusting things that he was doing. And then yesterday, my Apple phone, when I turn on the car, it just starts randomly playing something from SoundCloud. And I don't know how to stop that from happening. And SoundCloud's not even open, which is weird.
Have you closed out all the apps and everything?
Yeah. And then there was a story. It was a podcast, our podcast from last year, from January 25th of 2024, of us talking about the exploding manholes in Springfield.
How was the show?
The show was great.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
The one a year before, a year and a half before wasn't
not so
great.
good.
But it's just kind of weird how things come up like that after you've already heard. You were talking about manholes, and then later on in the day, I see that somebody sends me this video, and I'm like, oh, holy crap. I was talking about manholes a year ago on the Bax and Nagle show.
And here we are talking about it again.
I know. There's all these exploding manholes.
You got to be careful of your manhole.
And I recognize this intersection. And I was like, that's got to be where the rail yard is, because it looks exactly like. And the other ironic part is right across the street from where this manhole happened, that's where that building burnt down that killed the 6 firefighters back in 1999. it's just weird how you know, all of that things come together. And so when they talk about the MB Lounge, now here I am, a young man of 20, 21 years old,
right?
Starting out at the rail yards.
Well, you're just trying to get ahead.
Yeah. Well, I got the job through nepotism, through my dad.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that the rail yard, your dad was a legend.
Who I quickly found out was not respected at all by the workers.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, and then they started liking me because then they realized I didn't have much respect for the man either. So, but there was this bar, this MB Lounge,
right?
Is a gay bar, and it's called the Mailbox. Malebox.
Well, that's a clever name, isn't it?
And you know, as the rite of passage, I never went in there, but as the rite of passage to the new hires, they tell all the new hires, "Yeah, you want to get a nice cold beer after work? Why don't you head on over to the MB over there? That's a good place.
Get yourself a nice frosted cold tall boy over there."
You know, and they're making all these jokes about make sure you get the right stool and all this other stuff.
Oh,
and,
hilarious.
All the, you know, well, I mean, it's humor.
It's rail yard humor.
It is
what
rail yard humor.
The kind of humor you expect from those dealing with the choo-choo all day.
Listen, most of the Kim Kardashian things that I do on this show have derived from the time I worked at the Conrail yard for Pacific Rail Services up in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Really?
Listen, every bit of my life has made me somewhat successful.
Well, you learn from your experiences.
But it's just weird how I automatically recognize that intersection as soon as it happened. I haven't been there in probably 20 years.
Now, have there been problems with the manholes back then?
I don't remember the manholes being back then. I know that I know the homeless problem was a big thing, which unfortunately led to
the fire.
The fire that was there. But then there was this old diner that's there on the corner as well. It's like one of those old. What do they call those? It's not a. It looks like a rail car, like the old diner. Style thing.
Like a rail car diner. Sure.
I believe that was destroyed in that fire, but then it was rebuilt and restored and everything down there. But other than the exploding manhole covers in Worcester, Massachusetts, it has so much to offer, Worcester.
Really?
Yeah.
Name two things.
Well, you got the baseball team up there now, who's they're like the farm team for the Red Sox, right?
Okay. Now name one other.
Lederman's Bakery.
Is it really worth going all the way out to Worcester for?
Yeah, they have good salt bagels with caraway seeds, and the Polish lady who used to go, "Oh, big boy like his salt bagel with his cream cheese." She knew me every day.
Yeah.
I'd go in there for the salt bagel with the cream cheese. And they used to have a deli up there, which is no longer in existence. It was called Campy's Deli.
Okay. Do tell.
Campy's Deli it was not even like, it wasn't a bougie place at all. It was like this little hole in the wall. Right across from the bar, the French Connection, which also had a sign on it that said, "Ladies Welcome." You know that a bar is doing really well
when they have to formally invite ladies to attend.
Ladies are welcome. And
we drove all the way out here from West Side to see what was going on. Ladies are welcome. That means two things.
The so romantic French Connection. Right? But Campy's Deli was this kind of hole-in-the-wall place, but they had the Big Bite sandwiches. And it was fresh baked bread.
Yeah.
About the size of your head.
Right.
And they would make you, and it was cheap back then. It was only like $5 or $6 you could get a sandwich for.
And they piled the meat up like a mile high.
Piled the meat up a mile high. They put the hot pepper relish and the oil and vinegar and the mayonnaise, and you'd be just like dripping down your chin and. This exploding manhole cover reminded me of all these things that I miss about Worcester, Massachusetts.
If you go to that deli enough, you're going to have an exploding manhole somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Or you can get syphilis at the French Connection.
You can get that in the mailbox, too.
That was the mechanic that worked at I think I told you this, Skeeter. Skeeter was the mechanic.
Skeeter the mechanic.
Yeah, he was missing a lot of teeth. And he had to, with the accent, we lisp a little bit because he had no front teeth, But he went Christmas shopping the one time, and he had a wad of cash in his pocket, $400. And there was a lady in there that was hitting on him. And he wound up dancing with her, buying shots, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the night...
Because she liked to smile?
Yeah, and then she left, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the night, Skeeter realizes she jacked him for the $400 that he had in his pocket.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Poor Skeeter. Didn't even see that coming, huh?
Nope. Didn't see it coming whatsoever.
Didn't second guess why a woman was spending so much time paying attention to him?
No, I guess he didn't. Some guys, it's the females that get you to do things that you wouldn't normally do.
And if you're a guy with only
You're missing
decorative
the front
remaining teeth, only who are there for ornamental reasons, and your name is Skeeter, which could be a turnoff for many women.
Yeah.
You wonder why is she paying so much attention to me?
But for all of Skeeter's faults, there was that time the following Christmas where he then got laid off from the job.
Right.
Because the boss said, well, we can't afford to have more than one mechanic here anymore. You're
This
going to have to
guy's
get
bleeding
laid
our dental plan dry.
And then he came in to pick up his last check, and he also brought his young kid with him, who then introduced the kid to the boss and says, well, here you go. This is the man that ruined Christmas for you this year.
Oh, that's cold.
No, but we were all like, yeah, stick it to the man. So, you know what? I really have no point to this story other than the fact that the blown manhole coverage brought me so many memories of Worcester, Massachusetts.
If that's the thing that unearthed all these great memories, then what's so wrong about that?
Nothing.
Nothing
is wrong.
It's a good story, Steve.
Yeah, it's a very good story.
From the toothless Skeeter to the blown out manhole. That's a hell of a story right there.
I'll tell you off the air what Jay used to say, because I can't even repeat what he used to do.
Jay?
Well, he was another mechanic who had quite the time with the ladies. He was like a Worcester player.
Really?
Yeah. He had teeth.
Which ramped up his chances significantly over Skeeter.
And he would always describe what he would do after he would go home if he didn't get lucky on a date.
Okay. I can see why you might want to share that.
Yeah.
Might not want to share that. Anyway, very cool.
All right.
Very good.
Well, there you go.
All right, we got a lot accomplished here today.
Thanks for joining me on my TED Talk. Follow me for more tips and tricks.
It's 7:20 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Live in concert.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 7:28, and Steely Dan with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Dan Brown will have the full forecast for you.
So let's see. Hey, if you haven't downloaded the Rock 102 app yet, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. It's awesome. Very, very well done. You can listen to the radio station wherever you go. You can listen to the station podcast. You can access contests and events and the concert calendar, and even connect through social media. And that includes the open mic feature, which is now available. Plus, it works on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Go to rock102.com to find out more about it and how you can download it to your device. It's the Rock 102 mobile app brought to you by Aqua Pump, water pumps, water filtration, and water treatment options in Stafford, Connecticut, from Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
You ever bought a car from Carvana?
I have not.
A lot of people do, though. It's becoming a much more popular way for a lot of people to buy a car online.
I heard a couple people whose experience with it was not perfect as far as like delivery and pickup.
Yeah.
But that's those are the kinds of things you got to expect.
Well, how do you get that big coin into the machine for the car to come down the chute? The elevator chute.
I don't know. And how many times do you put like the dollar bill in the machine and it's folded and it won't accept it? Ugh, what a pain.
Well, either way, some people have had negative experiences. If you bought a car from Carvana over the last 5 years, money could be coming your way. Attorney General William Tong announced a settlement with Carvana. The settlement will need to be approved by the court. If it's approved, anyone who bought a car from Carvana after January 1st of 2019 may be eligible for cash back. The settlement would establish $1 million fund for Connecticut consumers who paid fines or other expenses due to a delayed transfer of title or registration, or if Carvana misrepresented the car that they bought. Attorney General William Tong says his office started investigating Carvana 3 years ago after receiving hundreds of complaints from both car buyers and sellers. So if you believe you're one of the people owed money, you could submit a claim in writing by emailing the Connecticut Restitution at Carvana.com.
I'll get right on that, even if I haven't bought a car at all.
Carvana Unana. Isn't that the song that she sang?
I don't know. That's the one. Havana.
Yeah.
Havana.
I thought it was Carvana.
No, I don't believe so.
Have a holidays in Carvana. Ooh, na, na.
We got news coming up next to Rock 102.
Here's your Western Mass News.
7:34 with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Aquapump, an expert in all water supply systems from the well to the pump and into the house. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Banks. Millions of Southern Californians were on edge as the final round of dangerous fire weather was forecast for the region on Wednesday, along with a rare warning of particularly dangerous situation for an area near where two massive blazes have killed at least 25 and destroyed thousands of homes. Firefighters got a reprieve Tuesday when winds were unexpectedly light, and they were able to make progress in battling the two huge L.A. fires and quickly snuff out several new fires. The Eaton fire, burning just north of L.A., and the Palisades fire that destroyed much of the seaside L.A. neighborhood of Pacific Palisades broke out January 7th in conditions similar to what is expected Wednesday. That was today, right? Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday.
Yeah, high winds last week pushed flames at remarkable speed and carried fire-sparking embers sometimes miles away. 10,000 structures. Homes, businesses, whatever, gone.
There are pictures out there that I saw even this morning, and these pictures have been distributed for a while now, but I saw some really disturbing ones of major parts of the city that are leveled, and like a bunch of like cars are out there, and they're all burned out next to homes that used to be there. It's just like I can't even imagine the process of rebuilding. Yeah. And getting people back into those areas. I mean, they're just destroyed.
The key message from weather forecasters: we're not out of the woods yet, the Weather Service said in a post late Tuesday. The winds underperformed today, but one more enhancement could happen tonight into tomorrow. Fire cane, as they put it, which is scary, very scary. A man from Ware faces several charges, including rape, kidnapping, and sexual contact with animals. In a public news release from the Ware Police.
Ware Police?
Their police. An investigation conducted by Ware detectives and troopers from the State Police Unit of the Hamden DA's office led to the arrest of 34-year-old Michael Stanikmas on Monday. He's been charged with the following: sexual contact with animals, 2 counts, domestic strangulation and suffocation, indecent assault and battery on a child under 14, kidnapping, witness intimidation, assault and battery on a family household member, rape, and assault and battery. But other than that, he's a great guy.
Actually, everything that I've read about him, and again, you're only reading the most latest stuff.
Yeah.
I don't get the sense he is.
No,
I get the sense that he might be among one of the worst people in Ware.
22 News has obtained the court documents. However, due to the graphic nature, they will not be shared in their entirety. If you really want to go down that rabbit hole, you can find it online, but I highly suggest you just take our word for it.
The lack of disclosure is actually, they did you a favor.
Yeah. Sometimes it's okay not to get all the details.
Yeah, you don't really want to know.
Yeah.
Just know that this guy is allegedly awful.
The Springfield Police Department has arrested a suspect in connection with multiple armed robberies. On January 11th around 1 p.m., officers got a call about an armed robbery at a business on Walnut Street. The suspect, who has since been identified as 31-year-old Willie Duke of the Duke Boys,
you gotta watch out for the Duke Boys,
allegedly robbed the business clerk with a firearm and escaped with cash. At around 1:30, the same suspect was alleged to have robbed a convenience store on St. James Avenue, also armed. At 2 p.m., the Duke boy allegedly robbed another business on the 600 block of State Street, armed with a firearm and getting away with cash. At 7:30 a.m. on Sunday, he's a busy Duke boy. Even the Duke boys wouldn't get up that early in the morning, would they?
Isn't Sunday normally like your day of rest?
Yeah, I'm going to get you, Duke boy. It was them Dukes. Duke was arrested by the Springfield Police on Sunday. Detectives worked alongside the Springfield Police Real-Time Analysis Center to gather evidence and locate the suspect in their vehicle.
Steve, I believe it's pronounced analysis.
Not the way it's spelled here. It's analysis.
I still believe that in context, it is analysis.
Now, do they have a probe with the Analysis Center?
I do not know, but I'm sure it's under investigation. What else did Mortimer and Randolph Duke do over the weekend?
At approximately 7:15 a.m., the suspect's vehicle was reported to be in the Six Corners area. Is that part of the analysis?
No.
Six Corners?
No. It will be under investigation.
Springfield police said the vehicle was found parked at a gas station on the 200 block of Hancock Street. And officers conducted a traffic stop. The Duke boy exited the vehicle and attempted to run away, but officers took him into custody on the 100 block of Ashley Street. He's charged with 3 counts of armed and masked robbery with a firearm, failure to stop for police, and transporting moonshine over county lines.
Has anyone gone to Boss Hogg for a statement?
Well, I'll tell you, Roscoe and them Duke boys. Dude, how many convenience stores they robbed in the last 24 hours?
Well, there they go again. The Duke boys are out looking for convenience stores for the big gulp.
Out looking for cooter again.
Oh, they may find it in that neighborhood, but I'm telling you, those Dukes have always got something up their sleeves.
I wonder if, before he gets arrested, does the scene stop and Waylon Jennings come on over the thing like you just said? Like you just narrated? Now, I'm no rocket scientist, but I believe this Duke boy's going to jail.
I do believe they're driving the General Lee up and down Walnut Street looking for problems to solve.
Now we got to do the theme song.
Oh yeah, I didn't have that handy. So.
Well, I mean, it's easy enough to just pull up here on the YouTubes.
Okay.
Which we'll be all using by Sunday when TikTok goes off the air. The Dukes of Hazzard theme song. Do you want the full version or just the minute 34 version?
Minute 34, probably all we really need.
Yeah, ready?
Okay.
Well, hang on a second. There's an ad that we have to watch first,
right,
and then
okay.
then we skip, and here we go.
Okay, I got it. Okay. There we go. Okay, go.
Oh, here we go.
Well, they're done it again. The Dukes are out looking to cause some problems. Up and down Walnut, Oak Street, Tyler Street,
all been in trouble with the
Orleans
Street.
Street
Was born.
Union Street.
Yeah.
Wherever they
Straightening
can
the curves, flattening the hills. Someday 6 Corners might get him, but the law never will. Making their way, only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow. Just a good old boy. Wouldn't change if they could.
Those good old boys in Springfield causing a little bit of ruckus.
Kissed him like a tune, modern day Robin Hood. Yeehaw! Very nice. This is a musical. We should do the musical interlude more often. People really loved our version of the Pina Colada song. A Penis Colada song last week.
Has Tom Wopat been in the neighborhood anytime recently, or John Schneider?
No, John Schneider has. He does
Okay.
a lot with the Children's Miracle Network at Bay State Hospital, so he definitely.
Yeah, because I can see like Tom Wopat going to like Ludlow, do a little Scared Straight program on these Duke boys.
Yeah. Speaking of Roscoe P. Coltrane, the fate of suspended Massachusetts State Police Trooper Michael Proctor could be decided as soon as today, when he faces a state police trial board following the close of an internal affairs investigation into his conduct. Remember, this is the guy in the Karen Reed trial who was sending text messages that he shouldn't have been sending. Proctor, who was relieved of duty and suspended without pay shortly after the Karen Reed trial last year, admitted to sending unprofessional and degrading text messages about Reed while he was investigating her in connection with the death of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe. In those messages, Proctor referred to her as a whack job and told his sister he wished Reed would kill herself. But other than that, he's conducting a thorough investigation, and all the evidence should be forthcoming. Those messages were uncovered by a federal investigation into the Reed case. The trial board hearing is closed to the public. If the board suggests discipline against Proctor, the recommendation will be sent to Colonel Jeff Noble for review and approval. When a final determination is made, state police will issue a personnel order. I guess with a last name like Noble, that's probably the best position they could put you in.
Yeah, but that's often somewhat misleading.
Yeah. No members of the board will be from the same troop or section unit as Proctor. So, for all the people who say that there's, all kinds of backhanded stuff going on with the state police.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be facing a jury of his peers.
No.
I'd rather facing the jury of my beers that we had when we were discussing what a Karen Reed was. Am I right? She ain't got no ass.
She's not that hot.
I can't believe I'm spending all this time on this stupid case.
Yeah, he didn't do himself any favors, did he?
No. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today going to be sunny with a high of 29. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 30. It's 22 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Yeehaw!
Munson Savings Bank.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 7:51, and Queen with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Sunny, windy, and cold today with a high of 29. It is 21 right now in downtown Springfield.
Next hour, we're going to be talking to, let's see, his name is Paul Hammond. He is the drummer for Get the Let Out. We'll be giving away tickets on Rock 102. Make sure you're listening for that, but he'll be joining us in about an hour from now.
I guess Gen Z is addicted to texting. That's not really news.
Really? You don't say?
Yeah, there's a decent chance they'd even use it to say, hand me that pen. A poll on a new survey.
Survey said.
A poll on Office Chit Chat found 27% of coworkers today are more comfortable communicating over text or email than face-to-face. That includes 40% of Gen Zers. 48% of us will even do it when we're sitting near the person we're texting because it's just more convenient.
I will actually text you to see if you can accept a phone call.
Will you take a phone call?
No.
Yeah. 74% overall admitted they struggle to make conversation with coworkers when they run into them in the office, kitchen, or an elevator. Yeah, that's right. I freeze up whenever I see a human being in this building.
Well, there aren't many of them to choose from.
I was like, wow, where did I come from the basement, dragging my knuckles up the stairs. 28% even avoid the kitchen altogether because they worry they'll get into a situation where they have to talk to another coworker.
That's the worst.
I do that all the time. I avoid that kitchen. I only go up there between the hours of 5:30 and 8 before anybody actually gets here.
Yeah, well, after 8, it's a mess up there.
In other words, water cooler talk might be dying out, but it's turned to texting.
Well, if I could text somebody while at the water cooler, I'd be cool with that.
Listen, I just told you last week, Pat Kelly and that guy John Lufkin, the sound guy that we have here, literally across the hall from each other in two separate studios on speakerphone with each other. They're talking to each other because they're a little bit older generation,
right?
Gen Zers, but they're Gen Xers.
But they were literally like 15 feet. 12 to 15 feet apart from each other at the time.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
You can't, first of all, how much of a conversation do you need to have with a coworker, with any one of our coworkers in the building, unless it's like a personal conversation off to the side or something you're having, what happened over the weekend or something like that. But I'm talking about like work-related things. Do you really need to keep somebody on the phone for more than maybe a minute or two?
No, I don't think so. Listen, the only conversation I really want to have with any of these coworkers is what time the cake is arriving on cake day, and then
did you put my pay sheet in for the week so I can get paid?
That's about it.
Yeah.
After that, I could care less what's going on in your world.
Yeah, we see each other once a year at the company Christmas party. That's what we all get together. And,
I've actually been introduced to people at the company Christmas party.
That's people who have worked here for years.
That is true.
We've had that experience before where we've showed up to one of these parties and then like a person shows up and like, who's that? And they're like, wow, that's our,
that's our part-timer.
Sales person who's been working here since 2018.
You don't say.
Yeah.
What's their name again?
Yeah. And I'll rehash that time that that guy that was working upstairs who I noticed for the first time. And I said, oh, hi, I'm Steve. And he's like, yeah, I know. I've worked here for 3 years. But it's, because we're gone in the we're gone before a lot of the other employees get here.
Yeah.
Or at least we don't run into them. Because if we're gone by 11 o'clock in the morning, there's also that afternoon shift that comes in that we never see.
We
these
never,
people.
ever see. And in a lot of cases, we're better off.
Yeah, like who wants to talk to Pat Kelly?
I don't.
For more than 5 minutes.
5 minutes to me would be like a lifetime.
It's crazy.
Hey, listen, we got some stuff to give away. Very, very important stuff. The auto parts swap and sell is coming to the Big E this weekend, January 18th and 19th. Going to be a hell of an event, as it always is. We happen to have a 4-pack of tickets to give away to the Auto Parts Swap and Sell. 10th caller right now, the Route 10 Tire listener line. You will win those tickets, so good luck to you.
Route 10 Tire listener line, 293-1021. Get your swap and smell tickets.
You don't want to miss that. It's a hell of an event.
When I was in Syracuse, we called it the swap and smell.
Oh, I miss those days.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you're right.
No,
I really don't. I'm just trying to be nice about it. It's 7:57 at Rock 102.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, as you know, I love football. I also love the intoxicating allure of a regular paycheck. However, if I were given the choice between one over the other, I would probably choose the regular paycheck because, you see, without one, I could no longer afford to attend a football game of any sort. So with that in mind, I believe that keeping my job is probably more important than anything else. And as such, I would do my damnedest to prevent one from affecting the other by limiting my obnoxious fan behavior. On Sunday, during the Philadelphia Eagles-Green Bay Packer wildcard playoff game, a video was circulating of a gentleman festooned in Philadelphia Eagles paraphernalia, harshly berating a young woman who happened to be equally festooned in Green Bay Packer gear. In this video, which has since gone viral, the gentleman was seen as weaving a string of staggering misogynistic profanity and lobbing them towards this young woman who, like many other Packer fans that night, had already been suffering through quite enough. The Eagles fan, who has been since identified as Ryan Caldwell, was heard addressing the woman as, quote, a dumb C-word. Now, I should warn you that I am paraphrasing this notable quotable by concealing the actual C-word, since using the word in its entirety would put my own regular paycheck in peril, and I think we've already established how I feel about my regular paycheck. Yesterday, it was reported that Ryan Caldwell, a consultant for a New Jersey-based diversity focused management firm, has been fired from his position for not properly representing company values. Folks, not for nothing, but in this viral age of TikTok and Instagram Reel, your vile language and vulgar behavior is always susceptible to being recorded. Hence, you are then susceptible to deep wells of public scrutiny, no matter what section you might be sitting in. My question to you is this: was this woman so dumb that berating her with offensive insults was worth losing a 6-figure-a-year job over? I would say no, and so would every other potential employer in your chosen field. So, who's the dumb C-word now? But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You know, I'm looking at the deals this month at Rocky's, the bird food, storage totes, hand tools. I'm looking at the printed flyer. You can pick one up at the Rocky's store or see the sales flyer online at Rockies.com. What's on sale at Rocky's? It's always at your fingertips at Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
To Springfield's classic rock. It's 8:09 and AC/DC with Bax and Nagle at Rock 102.
Chilly, windy today with a high of only 29. It's 21 right now in downtown Springfield.
You know, busy couple days. Here I got a doctor's appointment today. I got to go buy dog food sometime this week.
Yeah,
looking at a trip to Costco. There's the playoffs this weekend.
Yeah,
and sometime between now and Monday, I have to sift through this massive disclosure of UFO information from the Disclosure Project.
Ooh, spooky.
I know. I don't know if you have been following this story, but it's been over the last 30 days. It's really ramped up. Dr. Stephen Greer, who runs this thing called the Disclosure Project, has been saying that sometime between now and the inauguration, which is Monday, this massive amount of data is going to be blasted out from insiders, from whistleblowers about the cover-up of all we know about UFOs and extra testicles.
Extra testicles.
That's what I'm on. That's I think I'm getting that right.
E3, I believe, right?
I believe
E3, the extra testicle.
He wasn't phoning home. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I bet.
But allegedly, there is like 50, 60 years of information that is finally going to be disclosed about this. Now, I'm looking at really kind of the timeline here. Mm-hmm. You got the inauguration on Monday. You got TikTok shutting down on Sunday. And all of this is supposed to happen between now and then. Now, I'm not normally a conspiracy guy. It doesn't. Right. I'm not really one to fall into it.
You're not the Alex Jones type of.
I'm really
listener. Yeah.
No. I'm willing to punch holes in just about every real good conspiracy.
They're hiding the aliens, and they're going to release it to us. Wah!
I've been listening to a lot of a couple of interviews with Dr. Stephen Greer. I've been watching some of his stuff on YouTube, and you're talking to like legitimate people, like the Joe Rogans and the.
Well, he was great in Amazon Women on the Moon.
No, Steve. I think you're thinking of David Allen Greer. This is Dr. Stephen Greer.
No, you're thinking of that country singer. That's David Allen Coe.
No, Steve, that's David Allen Coe.
No, you're thinking of that old poet.
No, I believe that is Edgar Allan Poe.
What, I got to keep feeding these to you?
I'm so focused on UFOs right now. Yeah. I can barely speak. But I guess in light of the fact that I'm not really a conspiracy guy, I am, however, consumed with curiosity about what this guy is really talking about. And if it is such a big disclosure, what's going to happen? Even if you don't even believe what the guy is saying, and it's not even going to be him that's allegedly saying it, but like 700 different people that are coming out of the woodwork to confirm, former military, former people who have been involved in these illegal black operations that are controlling all this information, all the reverse engineering we've done. It kind of explains all the drones in New Jersey. It's all this stuff interconnected. And I guess I am more curious as to, is it going to happen before Monday? And what's he talking about?
No. And no. That's the two answers that I have. Here's the problem with conspiracy theories. They are just that. They are theories.
Uh-huh.
And, you can have a bunch of people come forward and reveal a bunch of information, and they already have. The government has been piecemealing these, talking about UAPs, not specifically that they have a live alien somewhere, but then they had those hearings 2 months ago, where they basically...
a little bit longer than that, but last year.
But here's the thing that bothers me about those hearings, and I'm sure that the exact same thing is going to happen when these guys come forward. It's these military officials who are sitting on the stand, and they're like, well, yes, there is, in fact, we have samples and collections of the thing. Where is this located? We can't tell you that. Are they walking among us? We can't tell you that. Why can you release so much information and then not release all of the information?
Well, Dr. Greer explains that. Many of the people that are coming out allegedly this time around are deeper into it than the ones that were testifying last year.
Yeah.
These are people that realize that what's been going on here is an illegal operation, a criminal operation, and they want to expose it for the fraud that it is. This is apparently a well-funded dark organization that goes well beyond the government.
Yeah.
And, hey, who knows? Who knows? But I'm more concerned about, what are we really trying to prepare ourselves here for? According to this guy, if we take this information about all the technology and all the things that we've learned from reverse engineering, it could be a game-changing experience for our entire species. That's what he's saying.
But
if we take this stuff and try to make the worst of it, then it could potentially destroy the planet. Now, given a choice, I'd rather have this be a golden age of technology than us destroying things. But I'm taking a wait-and-see approach. But I'm waiting until Monday because I got a lot going on next week. And I don't want to have all of that interrupt all of this.
293-1021 if you want to chime in on the alien hotline. UFO hotline is open for business, sponsored by the Route 10 Tire listener line.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, it would be an arrogant thing for us to believe that there's no other form of life in an ever-expanding universe.
Well, I believe that. I do believe that there is life forms from other places. We can't be the only in a giant... just remember that you're standing on a planet that's evolving, all that
right,
stuff.
Of course.
That we're the only form of life out in this entire galaxy.
It would be impossible to imagine that there isn't. But the idea is that they're already here. They're already doing their stuff, and a lot of what we've seen out there floating around,
walking among us,
is our own stuff. Think about that. Think about what that means.
I believe we have a alien expert on the phone.
Okay, Rock 102. Good morning. Is this?
Hey, good morning, boys. It's Vince the plumber.
Hi, Vince. Well, now, I assume that you are a UFO expert and
Juilliard-trained UFO expert.
Yes.
No, not at all. Not in any which way possible. I had something funny to say about this situation. Is when I was much younger, I remember my grandpa listening to a guy on the radio. I don't know if you guys ever had it on this side of the world. Art Bell.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, Art Bell, yeah. So Art Bell, when I was a kid, listening to Art Bell, he was shacked up in a little shack down the road from Area 51, and he would see all these different things going in and out of Area 51, and the government might have shut him down off the radio and stuff. And it's, it shows how every X amount of years, there's somebody out there coming up with more. Oh, there's extraterrestrials,
Vince, let me give you a little look into the career of Art Bell. He wasn't shut down by the government. He was shut down by an entity that is 9 times worse. It's called Clear Channel Communications.
Right.
9 times more frightening and evil than you can ever possibly imagine.
Definitely. So that's all I wanted to just throw in there. Art Bell, man, what a guy.
All right, we'll talk to you on Friday. All right,
and not to reveal the man behind the curtain here, but as knowing what I know in radio, are you sure he was in a shack outside Area 51 or not in a studio in Chicago?
Because I got news for you. We're here out in a shack in East Longmeadow.
Well,
been here for the years.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of aliens working here over the years.
Listen, I'm not saying that what this guy is purporting is true. There's no way to know this for sure. But the curiosity element of it has kind of got me intrigued. Because, what are you expecting to show? What is this alleged information? Because, again, I'm trying to take a very wait-and-see type of approach here. But I find it very interesting.
But my point is they've already had these hearings, and they've already had these people come forward saying, yes, there is, in fact, other life out there. And in fact, yes, we have spacecraft. Yes, we have all this stuff. But if you're not going to show your cards and show us what you have, then what's the point of even doing it?
See, but here's the difference. Greer is saying that this will have nothing to do with any congressional hearing. Mm-hmm. That there are websites that will not be that the government will not be able to hide.
Yeah.
That this is going to be a complete blitz of information, disclosing everything, and that's the difference. That there will be no, according to him, there will be no information that is classified. It's all going out there.
Listen, I base things on my TikTok feed. And
for now,
a good month and a half, there was these videos of these drones and then these like orbs in the sky and plasmoids and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, it just went away. Like now I'm getting wildfires and tarot readings for some reason. I don't know what the tarot reading thing. You're expected to get a big money prize soon.
Right.
a person who's speaking to 170 million people saying you alone coming across this video are going to receive some sort of money prize.
It is showing up on the For You page, Steve.
Yes, but I don't
specifically
even...
For You.
But is that because somebody sent me a tarot video at some point, or is it because I'm really involved in the psychic medium?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know why? I think it's because we were talking about psychic mediums just a few weeks ago, and that's how this, and it listens to you, so it shows up on your page.
Let me throw this up at you.
I guarantee you we're going to see alien videos on our For You page as soon as we're done with this conversation.
I'm sure that's true. Let me throw this in your face for a second and dangle it right in front of your nose. Do you think that it is possible that there is some connection between some massive disclosure of no longer classified information and the shutdown of TikTok, which could easily distribute all of this stuff?
I do find it very coincidental that specifically it was January 19th that this thing would be shut down. I do find that very odd. Why January 19th? Why wasn't it January 1st? Why wasn't it January 31st? Why does it have to be the 19th? Because they don't want you to know what's going on.
See, that's what I'm thinking. This has nothing to do with the Chinese government.
Yeah,
it has everything to do with UFOs and Martians.
How do you know that information isn't going to be revealed on YouTube or Facebook or any of these other places? I mean, it just seems like a big, giant farce to me.
I don't know, Steve. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, good morning. It's Chris. How you doing today?
What's up, man?
Hey, I was calling about the space thing to talk about the UFOs.
Yeah,
yes, you're on the air right now.
Oh, very good. So, it was probably mid 2006 to 2007. I was coming home from work one night. I used to work around Coventry, Connecticut. I was coming home. Hello?
Yeah, your phone's kind of breaking up. I think it might be the government.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Naturally. But there was a hovering light in the sky. It was probably dancing around for about 3 to 4 minutes. It kept weaving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and just like a flash of light darted off into the sky. I've never seen nothing like that in my entire life, and this was before drones were around and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's kind of hard to explain.
You know, I've never told this story before. What's your name again? Chris. Yeah, I've never told this story on the air before, but back in 1995, I was driving around the Forest Park area.
Yeah.
And I saw this light in the sky. And it was very, very bright and almost blinding in a way. And after about, I'd say 30 minutes, it went away. But as the light was shining, I looked in the sky, and this is what I let me get more specific. There was a light in the sky, and it said, "Welcome to Bright Nights. Turn your radio on to this channel to find out more information and to listen to Christmas music." And that changed. I was never the same since. Never the same. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you.
All right, there you go.
And if you go back into the 70s, and there was an unsolved mysteries show about this. the Berkshire UFO incident. I think it happened out in Sheffield or something like that. There's supposedly a monument out there that signifies these events that happen, where several people in that area on opposite sides of town had the exact same experience of being put onto the spaceship and then put down. Mm-hmm. And while you say to yourself, well, come on, I mean, that's just somebody making stuff up, it was deemed true enough for the Massachusetts governor at the time to deem it a true event that happened.
Again, Steve,
so
I'm
mysteries. Not discounting that, something out there might be thing, but what if it's our own government that's actually doing it? And frankly, reverse engineering, you're going to tell me that we have reverse engineering from these aliens when these Cybertrucks keep blowing up on fire with the batteries in them when they crash into something?
I'm not saying we've reverse engineered everything, but according to Dr. Greer, there's lots of stuff that we haven't even used yet that we know how to, but are being suppressed, and that we're dealing with a golden age of technology. And by the way, he also says that these alien abduction things, because you're not, according to him, you're not that far off. A lot of these alien abduction things, our own doing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
right.
I just said about
That's
that
right.
Berkshire thing. And maybe it's the beam that they borrowed off Captain Kirk.
Everything's going to be revealed before Monday, allegedly. We'll see what happens. And if that happens, I hope it doesn't ruin the rest of my schedule.
Well, in the meantime, you can buy tickets to my comedy show at the Elks Club this Saturday night. And go on my Facebook and Instagram page. If you want to see some real information exposed, you go to the Elks Club and support a bed for every child.
It's 8:25 on Rock 102. It's 8:28 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
I'm just watching this TikTok video of them. What's his Pete Hegseth? They're interviewing him yesterday for the job of whatever that. I don't pay attention to what it is, but they got this senator going. He's talking about JAG officers, and the guy goes, "Can you explain what a JAG off is?"
And how do you answer something like that?
Well, it comes after a rear admiral. That's what it comes after. A jag-off comes after a rear admiral. That's what we do around here.
It's 8:29. News is next to Rock 102. Here, 8:32 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news, and it is brought to you by Big Y Family Markets. There's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. Massachusetts State Police are investigating an unattended death that occurred aboard an Air France flight traveling from Paris to Boston. According to police, the flight landed at Logan International Airport on Tuesday when authorities were called. Officials confirmed that the death is being investigated. No further details about the individual or the circumstances of the death were made available as of Tuesday evening. And 22 News said they will provide you with updates, but I'm guessing that's not going to happen. They found, it was like last week at the Miami airport, they found somebody in the wheel well of a Delta flight from JFK to Miami.
In the wheel well?
Yeah, a body fell out.
Oh, my God.
When it got on the tarmac in Miami, and the body just fell out onto the airport. I don't know if they were dead before they fell out, or they died because they fell out, or
I don't know.
But it's so funny how the news cycle is so filled with so many different things that you never hear a follow-up anymore about what happened.
Well, ironically, they'll tell you that they're going to follow up with more information than that information hardly ever arrives. But yeah, you'd like to know, well, how'd the guy get in the wheel well?
Yeah,
I mean, was he trying to stow away in the flight? Did he?
But that was one of the questions of authorities haven't said how he even got past security into the wheel well of a plane, or who it was. Maybe it was a worker.
You just never know. And you know what? It shouldn't surprise you when you don't get all the information you're looking for.
A man from Ware faces several charges, including rape, kidnapping, and sexual contact with animals. And a public news release from the Ware Police.
Ware Police?
Their police. An investigation conducted by the Ware detectives.
Ware detectives?
Their detectives. And troopers from the state police unit of the Hamden DA's office led to the arrest of 34-year-old Michael Stanikmas on Monday. And then my screen just froze. So basically, this guy is accused of indecent assault on a child and 2 counts of animal acts with a dog and kidnapping and all this great stuff. Not great stuff, but great stuff for a court file, I guess you could say. But the details you don't need to know. And 22 News, luckily, withheld the details. There are details online of what this dirtbag did. I encourage you not to read that.
You know, I made the mistake of actually reading it because I was curious as to what in God's name is going on here. And as I'm reading it, I'm finding that even the part with the dogs is not the most shocking and disgusting thing that this guy is accused of. Now, again, you know, everyone is assumed to be innocent until proven guilty. But as I'm reading it, I'm thinking to myself, oh, my God, what is this guy? What is in this guy? What kind of poison evil is in this guy? And, of course, he's presumed innocent. But until that happens,
and when have you ever heard
shocking.
somebody from Ware involved in something like this? That's the most shocking part.
There are people in Ware that are involved in all kinds of crazy shenanigans, but even this outdoes all of that.
Yes, when you can shock the most shocked person who shocked the most people in Ware going, oh, He did what?
Yeah,
that's when you know you're
that says
bad.
it all.
After receiving a grant to combat distracted driving earlier this year, the Chicopee Police Department is enforcing pedestrian safety this week by patrolling crosswalk violations. Within 4 hours Monday afternoon, Chicopee Police pulled over nearly 40 cars at the crosswalk intersection of Broadway and Lincoln Street for traffic violations. Those violations amounted to thousands of dollars in traffic fines for drivers. 40 cars, thousands of dollars? I guess.
And how much time?
4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Pedestrian safety is a problem in Chicopee and other communities, so we're trying to educate the drivers to be aware of pedestrians, said Chicopee Police Chief Travis Odian.
You would think that as a motorist, you would already be aware of the rules that protect pedestrians, but it's shocking how many people forget how to drive once they've been driving for too long.
I have a friend who lives in Chicopee, and I don't even know which street it is. I think it's the one parallel to the street that the Rumble seat is on. It's like
Springfield Street.
Is that the one where it goes up by the CVS up that way? You go up the hill from CVS, like right alongside the CVS. Whatever it doesn't matter.
Right.
Whatever the street is, it doesn't matter. You're trying to pull out of this friend's driveway. These cars are going like 50, 60 miles an hour, and it's a 25, 30 mile an hour zone there, and people just don't get it. And there are people that live on the street. You would think that if you lived on the street, you would be extra careful. You know, it happens by my house all the time. There's a 25 mile an hour speed limit.
Right.
In this thing. You always have to go 25 because there's kids that cross the street during after school hours. It's out in the middle of the country, so there's no crosswalks in that particular area, but there are families that live on those side streets that these kids cross all the time. And it's Route 112, and these people just keep, speeding through the area. 25 miles an hour, it's people going 40, 50 miles an hour. Somebody's going to get hurt.
Of course they are.
And, the cops do their best they can to slow people down, but, they can't always be there every day at the same time.
Which means it's up to the motorist to understand what the laws are and then abide by them.
Yeah, there's no beauty doing that.
I know, but really, I mean...
I'm not immune to, I know I've sped through places where I probably shouldn't have and not paying attention. That's a huge thing. But once you do that once and you realize, oh, yeah, that's a place where you should slow down. But people don't do that. They just keep doing it every day. Officers patrolled one of the city's busiest crosswalks to help bring awareness to pedestrian safety. We have the officer carrying a flashlight. He did have a light up blue band on his wrist as well, so people could see him standing there on the sidewalk. And he lit up the flashlight as he was trying to enter the crosswalk, giving people more time to see that there was a pedestrian there. Between the hours of 4 and 8 p.m. on Monday, Chicopee police said they pulled over a total of 38 vehicles for crosswalk violations.
That's an amazing amount of cars, even for 4 hours.
It's insane.
Just goes to show you how much people are not paying attention to the law.
A woman in Ohio said her order of chicken fries from Burger King came with several buds of marijuana.
Is that extra?
Yeah. What are you complaining about?
I'm not paying for that.
Cutting out the middleman. You might as well get them both at the same time. TikTok user Jana Bama. This is why we can't get rid of TikTok, folks.
Jana Bama?
Yeah. Posted the video on Sunday after visiting a Burger King in Hamilton, Ohio. Okay, went to Burger King tonight. Listen, I need you guys to listen, she says in the video. Got my kids some chicken fries. This bag came. If you look down in there, you can see some residue. She continues. She got her chicken fries with a side of, do you see that? You can't say that on TikTok. Mary Jane from Burger King in Hamilton, Ohio. The video has amassed more than 1 million views. Miller Management, the management company for the Burger King location in Hamilton, told the Cincinnati Enquirer that they are very disappointed to learn of the incident and do not take incidents that put our guests in danger lightly. Miller Management said the employee involved was fired. The manager of the Burger King location told the local news station he did not want to comment because he was too high to do so.
Jesus.
What are you talking about, man? Doesn't everybody want some buds with their chicken fries? I mean, they go hand in hand.
No, most people want to go for the chicken fries after they've had the marijuana.
Yes, but again, you're cutting out the middleman. I would welcome buds of marijuana in my chicken fries.
You know, I don't know what kind of monarch the Burger King has turned out to be, but I find that to be a little strange.
Do you?
Yeah, the royal family of Burger King would be involved in some sort of situation like this.
How do you think they afforded all those crowns and cloaks for that royal family?
I don't know.
Scepter. A scepter ain't cheap.
I bet it isn't.
They charge $12.99 for a Whopper meal. A sergeant with the department said they are investigating and will release additional information if it becomes available. You know, if you can't go to your local Burger King and get high and eat chicken fries, where can you go?
To my knowledge, they're the only ones that make chicken fries.
Those are pretty good, actually. That's like the one good thing from Burger King.
It's
better than a regular French fries, that's for sure.
That is
Burger
true.
King fries are disgusting. It's like you can tell it's like dipped in potato paste or something or whatever it is.
You'd think that after all this time, they would have figured out the whole French fry thing. And they've been in business for, 60 years maybe?
Yeah.
70 years? Whatever it is?
Whatever it is, they're doing it. And to keep people healthier, nutrition labels may be on the front of boxes now. It's been 2 weeks since your New Year's resolution to get serious about your diet, and yesterday you ate half a sleeve of Oreos for lunch, didn't you?
Yeah.
But you have an excuse. Oreos hid the nutrition info on the back of the packaging. So now it's going to be on the front of the packaging because the FDA is now proposing that nutrition info be placed on the front of packaged goods.
Hey, I got news for you. If you're eating processed foods like things that come in a box,
that means two things.
It's probably not good for you.
No, it's not. This would be a smaller box with a snapshot of just three things: saturated fat, sodium, and added sugars. There will also be a rating for each, classifying them as low, medium, or high. The idea is this will help consumers make quicker and more accurate assessments of products, possibly without even having to pick them up. But like you just said, if you got a hankering for a box of Oreos, you're going to get the box of Oreos. You know that they're already loaded with saturated fat.
Yeah, you know it's not going to be healthy for you. They just happen to be delicious.
This is just a proposal for now, and even if it does get approved later this year, food companies wouldn't be expected to comply until 3 or 4 years after the new policy is adopted. Although I did see is that phone ringing here?
No, but we
should wrap it up. Well, I was waiting to get to that point where the guy called.
No, it's quite all right.
All right, well, we'll just wrap up the thing. I won't tell you all the great things I had about nutrition labels. I had this whole 5-minute bit about nutrition labels, and now you're not going to let me finish it because we got to talk to a musician.
Well, yeah, we do.
It's 22 in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
A good used car.
It's 8:46 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
You know, when I started at this radio station 20 years ago, my first job was getting the lead out every night at 10 o'clock.
No kidding.
And that's how I became had increased interest in the Led Zeppelin, and now I can't wait to see these guys coming to Symphony Hall.
Get the Lead Out is coming to Symphony Hall on January 25th, and on the phone with us right now, the guitar player from Get the Lead Out is Paul Hammond. Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Good morning. How are you guys this morning?
Very, very good.
I am so excited about you guys coming. I saw you guys a few years ago up in Northampton, Mass. at the Calvin Theater when it was still operational. And I didn't realize, because I was talking to some other Zeppelin fans, and you guys do a different set every time you perform.
That is correct. We'll change up the list by at least 10, maybe a dozen songs. So that has basically enabled us to grow our fan base because Zeppelin fans, there's so many great songs. So every single show, they'll get a different selection of maybe, some bigger hits, that they already know, like, Rock and Roll or Misty Mountain Hop, but then some deeper cuts that you rarely hear, especially live, like In the Light or, Gallows Pole or Grand Wire Stomp. So yeah, we change it up every show, and the Zeppelin fans love it.
The weird thing about it, Paul, is like everyone who starts a band plays a Led Zeppelin song or two or more, and because they're such a respected band, what a lot of people don't really understand is that these songs were recorded and written with such complicated nuances that it's not just enough to play the notes. There's a lot more going on in the way that they constructed music than people give it credit for.
That's absolutely correct.
you have Jimmy Page, who was a genius producer-engineer, technically speaking and also musically speaking, but then John Paul Jones, classically trained musician, highly underrated, and so the compositional skills of the music was above and beyond what was happening at the time, and then you throw in the technological advances of the day that Jimmy Page took advantage of, like overdubbing and studio effects, like making the studio your instrument, so you get the never before heard backward echo effects, like in A Whole Lot of Love, where you hear Robert Plant, pre-echo, flanging, phasing, all that stuff they were doing, they were cutting edge. So yes, the nuance is part of that, and we, strive to capture that live at every show. And it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, but we're one of the few, if not the only one, that takes it to that level.
Yeah, it's weird. Like if you go on YouTube and you can see maybe a million different videos of just how to play the drum part to "Fool in the Rain," and how many people have been getting it wrong since 1980, and how brutally wrong they've gotten it. It's not even close, and how difficult and how challenging. Just that drum part was. Never mind all the other ones that are equally, if not more, difficult. That one seems to trip up everybody.
It really does. Well, there you have it, because John Bonham, once again, was one of the best rock drummers in the world, and all the other drummers looked up to him. And he also was influenced by the big band drummers that he had listened to. So you had the influence of Buddy Rich or Gene Krupa, and these guys were doing complicated polyrhythms, and that's, "Fool in the Rain" is one great example, where you can't just lay down a straightforward four-on-the-floor beat. It's got a syncopated hi-hat in there that's playing off of the kick drum and the snare, and that's what makes it so cool, as well as you have a whole calypso section in the center. And to pull that off is not easy. And like I said before, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So we're very fortunate that we have top-shelf musicians, some that, like our drummer Derek Smith, he's played with the best of the best. He flies in from California to do all of our shows. It's that big of a project, and we care about the music that much to take it to that level.
I've only seen you once, and it was one killer of a show. You guys do an awesome performance, but I remember the lead singer saying something like, "I know you see 6 people up here, and there was only 4 people in Led Zeppelin, but that's how complicated these music arrangements are." I mean, as far as guitar work, though, what do you think is the most difficult arrangement as far as the guitar goes?
Okay, well, as far as arrangement, that's a really good question, because arrangement is definitely different than, the nuanced feel in some of these songs. As far as arrangement goes, I would have to say probably Achilles' Last Stand off of Presence, just because it's their magnus opus. It's a prog song, essentially, that's 11 minutes long. Believe it or not, Kashmir, the arrangement of that is not easy either, because you have to commit it to memory. You can't fake it. You have to know it for all the different parts and when they happen. And as far as absolute difficulty, as far as nuance and feel, I'd have to say maybe Since I've Been Loving You, because you're all out on your own there. I play the lead in that, and the intro parts, and you got to be good, because that song goes from 0 to 11. It starts out with such fine nuance, like a feel that's very delicate, to the over the top heavy riffs, and that pretty much sums up Zeppelin. Like Jimmy Page used to call it the light and shade, where it would be super intense, but then it would quiet down. And a lot of their songs indicate that, like Ramble On. It starts with just acoustic, and then the chorus kicks in, and the electric guitars kick in, and or Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. Same thing. It starts so delicate with the intro, with Robert Plant really, singing softly with just acoustic guitar. Then when the chorus kicks in with the electrics and he's belting it out, that's what makes Zeppelin so great. And you could, wax poetic about them for hours, and you still won't be done describing how great they were.
This is Paul Hammond from Get the Lead Out. They're going to be at Symphony Hall in Springfield on January 25th. And as I'm looking at the schedule that you guys have got, and you're on the road until the beginning of October. it's amazing to me that you guys are more than just a tribute band. I mean, it really is a hell of a lot more than that. I mean, you may be playing Led Zeppelin music, but I mean, you're touring almost heavier than Led Zeppelin did when they were together.
Well, that is true. A lot of that is due to the fact that the modern age enables us to do that, and we own our own tour bus, which makes it a lot easier too. And we do concentrated tour runs where basically, since we're based on the East Coast, we're able to run the whole northern corridor for a lot of the year, from Massachusetts or Maine all the way down to Florida. With concentrations in March in Florida, so we'll do like a 3.5-week tour run there. We do a couple 10-day runs out to the Midwest, Texas we're going to again, and of course Minnesota and Kansas, and we do that. And then in the fall, as you said, up until like mid-October, we do our West Coast tour run, which is typically 3 to 4 weeks, which starts off with Red Rocks in Denver, which is one of the most iconic venues in the world, basically. And this year will be our 11th time playing there. Last year was our 10-year anniversary, and it doesn't get much better than that. Although I got to say, Symphony Hall in Springfield, Massachusetts, that's a great venue. We cannot wait to perform there Saturday.
And listen, man, I will be there at the show. And speaking of 10 years, my favorite tune is 10 Years Gone. What do you think the chances are you're going to play that on the 25th?
Well, I have connections.
All right. Now listen,
he knows people in the band.
Let's work these connections. Could you dedicate it to the local radio icon, Steve Nagle?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. Yeah, see, and now we're talking. Yeah.
Get the Let Out is going to be at Symphony Hall on January 25th, and Rock 102 has been setting people up to go to the show. If you go to rock102.com before the end of the day on the 19th, we'll choose a winner at random, and it could be you. Paul Hammond from Get the Let Out, great to talk to you. Best of luck here in Springfield on the 25th.
You two guys are extremely psyched to be back.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man.
Good to talk to you. It's 8:55.
You're very welcome.
With Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Get the Let Out, the mighty tribute to Led Zeppelin, is getting ready to crank things up at Springfield Symphony Hall on Saturday, January 25th. And Rock 102 has the goods to get you in for free. This isn't just a tribute. It's Zeppelin like you've never heard before. The riffs, the energy, the magic, all on one stage. Sign up now at rock102.com by January 19th for your shot to win a pair of tickets to see Get the Let Out deliver the legendary Zeppelin sound to Springfield Symphony Hall. From Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
It might be cold outside, but things are always heating up down at Monty's Motorsports out in Westfield, your friendly neighborhood dirt bike store. They got bikes so tough, they eat rocks for breakfast, and gear so cool it'll make your grandmother say, hey, nice threads. Whether you're a pro or a newbie, they've got what you need all year long to tear up the trails and look good doing it. Monty's Motorsports, where your dirt bike dreams come true. Now get off the couch and ride.
Where can you kick off the new year with big savings on gig speed? Only with Xfinity, now through January 16th. Get gig internet at home for $25 a month for 1 year when you add an unlimited mobile line, which connects you to gig speed Wi-Fi on the road. Act fast today and save more than $650 over AT&T and Verizon in your first year. Plus, hurry and take advantage, because right now you can also get a free 5G phone with trade-in. So save big and stay connected to what you love with fast gig speed internet and mobile. From home to hotspots, this new year, it's all about gig speeds and big savings. Don't wait and get gig speed internet. Spend less green and switch to Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com/gig savings to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. $40 internet discount applied to mobile bill. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Welcome Line and AT&T Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Starter Line. Xfinity internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Pioneer Valley Arms has plenty of pre-gun law firearms that are still legal to sell. And with legislation changing soon, get them while you still can. And check out all of their used inventory and shop online at their new web store at PioneerValleyArms.com. Pioneer Valley Arms, 50 Shaker Road, East Longmeadow.
You know him as the Demon from the most influential band of all time. Now see the Gene Simmons Band up close and personal. May 11th, Mohegan Sun Arena. Tickets on sale Friday 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Metro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has you covered. With special pricing and financing, it's the best time to visit Metro's state-of-the-art dealership in Chicopee, right near BJ's and Big Y on Memorial Drive, and online at metrojeep.com.
Who are you?
WAQY HD1 Springfield, 102.1 FM. The Springfield Rocks Media Group. Chicopee's classic rock. Hey Google, play Rock 102.